Welcome to our Team Taurus weekly meeting. We took a week off last week. Glad to have you here. And we are so excited to hear some testimonies. And we were just saying that it might be a small group tonight, so that's fine. But we want to share those. And then we can even shift into Q&A. So if you guys have any questions that you're like, gosh, I'm not sure about this or that, or how would I apply it to this situation, then we can explore that tonight as well. But we want to start with some testimonies because every week, I feel like every one of us are seeing different breakthroughs or seeing positive influences through this subtle energy of the AO scan, but we don't always get to talk about it or find the time to share it even on video. So these videos are very important to the health and life of our team, that we do share these things, because then we can share it with others and others can actually hear what this does, because we cannot claim it does anything to heal or do this medical influence on the body, but we can use your testimony. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I am glad you guys are on the call because I imagine you already have one in mind. So when you share, please unmute yourself and show up. I'd love to see your beautiful face, because again, we're going to be using this on different social media, and people want to see you too, just like you wanted to see someone before, when you were like, what is this? How does it affect the body? How does it work? So we got a couple more joining. Just a second. And who's ready to get started? Who's going to be our first testimony tonight? Is there someone? Maybe that's you, Steph. Maybe you could start us off with the first testimony. But I want to say welcome to Rachel and Dee. So glad you're here. It's an important evening, as just talking about how testimonies are the lifeblood to people understanding what it is we're doing with the AO scan. They need to hear what happened to you when you started turning it on and broadcasting frequencies and scanning and optimizing. So please share tonight, even if it's just a little something. Just share something. And as we share, let's think about, where were you before, or what was the situation before? What did you actually do with the AO scan? Did you run a scan? Did you run Cepheid frequencies? And then what happened as a result? What did you see change? So where were you? What did you do? And what changed? So let's, and y'all be thinking, because I really do want to hear from each of you, honestly, because I know you all have been using the device plenty. So do you want to start us off, Steph?
Yes, I will go ahead and start us off. So my name is Steph, and I have had the AO scan since October of 2020. So about 18 months now. And in the beginning, it was something that I was using on a daily basis to improve my balance and my health and my wellness, from a frequency perspective, for all kinds of different issues that I was experiencing. And over the past year, it really has helped me to pinpoint issues that are arising, or issues that maybe have been chronic for a long time that I wasn't quite sure what it was. I wasn't sure, is it thyroid? Is it blood sugar? Is it hormone imbalances? And every single time the AO scan has helped me to identify really the underlying cause and what is really going on. But beyond that, I now find that I use my scanner several times a week just to maintain that type of high level of wellness and just balance that I was looking for in my life, that I wasn't able to achieve before. And now I'm using it more for acute issues that arise, whether it's with me or my children or my husband. And so the story that I wanted to share about something that happened recently was I was standing in my kitchen and I was helping my kids get ready for school. We were about 5 minutes from walking out the door, and all of a sudden I had this horrible pain in my abdomen and sort of like my intestinal area. And it was so bad that it brought me to my knees right in the middle of my kitchen. And within minutes, I was having to do really deep breathing to try to like calm myself down, but it was really powerful. And it brought me to tears. It was really, really bad. I would say it was about an 8 out of 10 on the pain scale. And so luckily, just a few days prior to that, I had taught my son how to use the AO scan. I had taught him how to enter in my code to open it up, how to pull up the app, how to find my profile, open it, and then go to this Cephi playlist for frequencies. And so I told my 9-year-old son to do all of this. He brought me the device and he was able to pull up the abdominal pain frequency for me and start playing it. And I just surrendered, and within 10 to 15 seconds, that 8 out of 10 pain went all the way down to a 0. This is not an exaggeration. I was so relieved. This was about a 30-minute process of me being on the floor, unable to then take my children to school. And frequencies on for just a few seconds. For me, historically, in the 18 months that I have had this device, anytime I do digestive frequencies, they start shifting energy for me within seconds or minutes. So that's just really how powerful this device can be. And then I was able to get up, do a full scan on myself, figure out what was actually going on, and identify the supplements that I needed to help me get out of that situation. So I ended up taking some supplements, resting a little bit, but that pain never returned for the rest of the day. Even though I was a little bit tired from the whole experience, I just really have the AO scan to thank for helping me identify that I had some digestive issues. I actually was having difficulty at that point in time breaking down protein. And so the food was not fully digested by the time it got to my intestines, and it just was wreaking havoc on my whole digestive system. So now I'm taking digestive enzymes and doing some other things, eating some pre-meal stuff to help me with digestion. And I'm so grateful that I have the AO scan in my life for moments exactly like that.
It's massive. That's so massive. Thank you for sharing your experience. As you're talking, I'm putting digestive on right now. I'm over here. Like, I don't need, and you guys could probably agree with this, with so many options, there's things we don't even get around to doing sometimes for ourselves to support our body. And yet, what if we did? Like, there's so much. So yeah, who does want to share next? And if you guys want to put in the chat, like, hey, I'd like to share in general. And honestly, I know you're all using it, so I want you all to pipe in here, share, even if it's something short, share something that you've been up to or that you've experienced.
I can share.
Jenny, yeah.
Okay, so I've got a couple of stories. I'll try not to go on too long. I'll try to just keep it to the ones that are my favorites. But I've been using the AO scan since January 11th. That was my first day. And as soon as I got the information and the emails, I was hitting the ground running. I was ready to go. So one of my early experiences was that I had a friend who was going through chiropractic school, and he was going to have his boards, his exam coming up. And so he was really nervous about it. And I asked him if I could make a playlist and send it for him whenever he was taking his test. So the morning that I thought his test was, I sent him a text really early in the morning, like 6 in the morning. He was supposed to be there at 7. And I just let him know, hey, I'm broadcasting the frequencies for you. And I took a screenshot, said, this is a playlist. And he said, oh, well, my tests are tomorrow. And I said, oh, well, all right. Well, I guess I'll play it tomorrow. Then probably 20, 30 minutes later, he sent me a text back saying it is today. And so he had 30 minutes to get there. He was in a rush. He got there. He was stressed out. So he said it was the craziest thing. As soon as he sat down and started taking the test, he said he felt this just overwhelming peace. And so the frequencies that I was sending to him, there is no doubt that they were getting to him. He's very sensitive to frequencies and energies to begin with, but it was just really cool to be able to get that from him. And he talked to me after the test was over, and he said that he didn't feel like he did really, really well because there was a lot he wasn't expecting on the test. But as it turned out, he ended up passing it. So if it weren't for the AO scan, he would have missed his test altogether because I wouldn't have been sending him that text. So I thought that was incredible. One of my more recent experiences was with my daughter. She's very skeptical about all of this. Every time I try to ask her if she wants me to broadcast for her, she kind of rolls her eyes. But we were at field day at my son's school. And so she was having a horrible, horrible allergy day. And so she had a ring. I ended up imprinting her ring with the allergy frequency, and I was broadcasting it to her, and not kidding you, within like 30 minutes, I could tell she wasn't sniffling, she wasn't sneezing, she didn't look like she was having any trouble at all. And I just smiled at her. I said, so how are you feeling? And she rolled her eyes. She's like, Mom, it could be anything. But anyway, so her allergies went away. And so that was pretty incredible. And I'll share one other quick recent testimony. And this is really interesting for me because it was my first animal scan experience. And so I have a friend that I met recently, and she had a horse that was expecting, she hadn't foaled yet. And so she was, stressing, not really stressing out, but she was saying, it was going on weeks that she thought that this foal was going to be born. And so I just thought, well, why didn't I offer to do a scan yet? So I went ahead, entered all the information, did the scan for the horse, and she went ahead and played the harmonics for the horse. And within 4 hours, the horse was born. And so I can't say, as a matter of fact, that's what it was. But it's interesting that it was 4 hours later that the horse was actually born. So I thought that was really cool. So those are some quick ones. And just like Steph, I've had, moments where I've woke up with a migraine and I just thought, what am I going to do here? So the first time I just tried one frequency, and within an hour, it was gone. And so my migraines used to last, 3 to 4 days a piece. And so within an hour, it was completely gone. And then another time, kind of similar to a very acute onset of pain, I was making my bed and bashed my leg into the foot of the bed, and it was excruciating pain. And I just happened to have my AO scan right in reach. And so I was broadcasting acute pain, and just like her story, within a minute, it was gone, absolutely gone. So anyway, those are my stories that are recent and my favorite ones. So I'd love to hear somebody else's as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing those. Those are awesome. So many different things. And I know that we're all using our scanners on different people, on our family, on our friends and clients. And sometimes it's easy for us to forget, like, oh yeah, this really amazing thing did happen. So try to track these things that are happening. Write them down or share them in our Team Taurus Facebook group, because we really want to be hearing from you guys how this is impacting people's lives. And these stories are what the world needs to hear to fully understand the impact that the AO scan can have in people's lives. All right, so Sue, even though you can't do video, we would love to hear from you.
Hi. I just wanted to say that I live in a house that was built in the 30s, and it has a lot of, or had a lot of really unusual energy in it. And I took a photo of it and, set it up so that I could scan, use the Cephi for my house. And so I have two playlists, one that's a daytime home playlist and one's an evening home playlist. And when I first started running it, I had plants on the kitchen window that barely survived. And within 10 days, I had the most beautiful looking plants you could imagine. So I know that is the energy from the AO scan. We didn't have that before. And just the odd things that kept happening in our house have kind of settled down. Sometimes I travel and I'll go away for a week or so, and I'll come back and the stuff will be back, and I'll have to run it again, and everything comes back into order like it's supposed to. So it's been really great on my house.
Very cool, Sue. Thanks for sharing. I think sometimes people forget that you can broadcast these frequencies absolutely anywhere, to your home, to just a specific room in your home. And I know I've heard from other people as well how the energy has shifted if they go to a hotel or something like that. So thank you for sharing. So we will have Nicole share next.
Hi, everyone. I have so many testimonials. Oh my gosh. But I wanted to first share about my kids, because I feel like kids always know. They can feel it when the energy shifts. They just know. And I love the fact that ever since I got the scanner and I started using it with them, slowly they started asking me for it. Like, Mom, can you play do the scanner on me? Or I have this, can you play the frequency? They know about frequencies. I mean, they know about the scanner. They know so many different things of how I use it, and just running their scans, listening to inner voice. I feel like for me, that's been amazing, because I can see the shift in them, and they feel it and they ask me for it. So just today, I live in New Jersey, and the allergies are terrible out there today. So my 3 have been asking me, no, put me in the scanner. I want allergies for me. So I love that you can load your house as an object into the scanner and send frequencies to your house. So all day today, I've had the allergy frequencies sent to the house. So that's been great, because it definitely helps with like sneezing and congestion and so many things. But so that was the kid thing. But I also want to share about animals. I have an older dog, Jack, he's about 13. And lately, like I would say the last day and a half, he hasn't been wanting to eat. And I was getting a little concerned that maybe he had something going on with his stomach, that his stomach was upset. So I ran his scans, and I have them in front of me. And his digestive enzymes, all his digestive system came back completely fine, like all in balance, 5s, 4s, everything was fine. So I knew it was nothing that he ate, or that he wasn't having a stomach issue that was making him not want to eat. So then when I looked further into his vitals, I pulled a couple things up that were concerning, like his ALP levels under the liver and the gallbladder were elevated. So I've been thinking about how much water he's been drinking, and he's been drinking more water. He's going to the bathroom more frequently. So I'm wondering if he has something going on with the liver, the gallbladder, possible kidney, because everything's kind of related. So that just having the ability to do his scans, I called the vet right away. It's not something he ate. There's nothing going on digestive, but I want to bring him in for labs. Oh, we don't have an appointment. I don't need to see the doctor. I just need the labs done. So tomorrow he has an appointment, and hopefully I'll give you guys an update on him. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but I love the fact that you have the ability to just at least get a screenshot, like a snapshot of what is going on before you're running to, oh, call the vet right away. Like, he's not eating. Like, I at least know what I need to do, the next steps, because I have this tool. So I've been sending him frequencies for the liver and the gallbladder, and he did eat dinner tonight. So, I'm very excited about that. But I love the scanner. There are just so many things, and I'm so thankful for it.
So good. Thank you for sharing, Nicole. That's awesome.
Of course.
It's true. I feel like each one of these bite-sized like testimonies are huge. Like the aha moments that we have with each one. So now Carolee, and then Rachel will be after that.
Hi, everybody. I have 2 testimonies to share. One was a friend that lives down like across the country from me, and I just offered to gift her some Cephies, and she's always in a lot of pain. So I sent her a list of Cephies for pain, and she said that entire day and into the next day she had 0 pain. So that was very exciting. And then the other one was when I was doing a show in Bozeman, an event, and I had a partner at the table. She was doing her own thing. And at the end of the day, we had talked, of course, about the scanner throughout the day. And she said, I would like to go home and not have a desire to drink tonight. So I made up a playlist and I sent it to her while she was standing there. And the next day she contacted me and she said, it worked. I did not have any desire to drink last night. And evidently it's something that she struggles with on a regular basis. So that was also very exciting. Thank you.
That's awesome. At the touch of a button, people, I can't even, right? All you did is put a playlist together. It's so cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, Rachel, please share with us.
Hi. Okay, 2 things. One, I have been so busy developing this my business where the AO scan is just kind of was like a snippet of a tool that I use in it. And so I have been in this sales development class with 3 other really awesome women, and I kept occasionally bringing it up and doing that throughout our 10-week program. And one day I had said something about how it generates frequency, and all of a sudden they all looked at me because we're all like-minded women, and they're like, wait, what is it? And so I told them again, and the woman who leads that's her business, she said, you really need to talk about this so much more. You've brought up AO scan. She's like, but I had no idea what it did and all of the things. So, we discussed things more. And I said, I just don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to feeling like a salesperson. So we went back and forth on that. So she's like, why don't you send yourself some frequencies for that? And I go, oh yeah. So that's what I did. And then I looked up a local, a holistic wellness store in my area, and I sent myself the frequencies for self-confidence and that type of thing. And I just took a breath and I went in and I talked to her, and I have a comeback meeting for her and her co-owner on Friday. And so, that's tomorrow. Friday, on Friday. And so I get to do the full presentation to her, and they're very interested. So I really felt that kind of breakthrough on that. And she even said to me, she goes, I can feel the frequencies just for the 1-minute demonstration that I did for her. It was really busy at the time. And the other thing that happened to me is I had a really bad toothache. It was like the point that it was like going into my eye, down my temple, my whole just jaw. And I'm like, what is happening? And ibuprofen that takes 45 minutes, a half an hour, 45 minutes to kick in. So I'm trying to grab that. I'm swallowing that, and everything is just like, I can't even think straight. I'm looking for clove oil. And I'm like, oh, let me grab the AO scan. And so I put that on. Within, just like with Steph, within less than a minute, it stopped throbbing, and it stopped just like the eye twitch, the headache, everything just slowly calmed down over about a minute. And I'm like, I was so grateful. And then I thought, well, I didn't even need to take all those ibuprofen. I just swallowed. But I was panicking, and so it's a constant reconfirmation at how amazing this tool is, and how you just have to share it, because now that gave me more confidence. Now that I see how excited total strangers were, at a warm introduction to it. So it was nice, very nice.
That's so awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing. So great. And we've got a few more coming up here. So Larissa, then Isabella, and then Dr. Rick. So Larissa, we'll pass the mic to you.
Sure. So I just got my scanner, as you know, Juliana, just a couple weeks ago. And so, I mean, I'm still learning how to use it, but I had my first, I guess, testimonial, we can say, just of really myself personally experiencing how real it is. And so what happened, kind of to shorten the story, I took a high dose of B3. So if anyone knows niacin, there's something called niacin flushing, which I had never actually experienced. It is normal, but it basically, your entire body turns red, super hot, and itchy. And so I was like, well, this is a good opportunity to use my scanner and just see what it tells me. And it's interesting because, so my background is I studied nutrition and I understand a lot of the vitals. So it was bringing up things like platelets and neutrophils and other markers of inflammation. Also, it had markers like under cardiovascular health of increased blood pressure, because the blood flow. And so things that made sense given what was happening in my body. So that was significant. But then I was having a lot of itching in my legs. And I thought, okay, what can I try? And I don't have enough experience with the broadcasting Cephis and whatnot, but I just had a conversation with Anna, she's my friend that introduced me to the AO scan, and she was talking about arnica. So she's really into homeopathics, which is something new for me, but she was talking about arnica, and a lot of people know it as a gel that you can put on if you have like an insect bite or other things for reducing pain, but also itching. And you can imprint it. So I said, oh, let's try to make my own arnica. So I just imprinted it onto a glass of water and I drank it. And literally like a minute later, the itching was gone. So again, you can say, well, would the itching have just gone? I don't think so. I mean, this reaction lasted a couple of hours and it was like a lot of itching and then the itching was gone. So that was quite interesting. Yeah. So I just feel like there's so many things to explore. And so just already, a couple of weeks, I'm seeing things. Like another thing this evening, I came back from like a really intense workout class, and I'm anemic, and I already know. So the other thing that's interesting, because I'm also an HTMA practitioner, which is hair tissue mineral analysis. So I've had my HTMA test done, and I know which mineral deficiencies and imbalances I have. So also when I do the scan and I see things that are consistently showing up at a range that I know based on my results, like actually are. And so, especially after coming back from this workout, I was just like, I don't know, it was one of those days where my muscles were super weak and fatigued. I was super fatigued, and the things like showing up, like B12 and cobalt, which is also related to B12, and the hematocrit, related to anemia, like all these things that, again, it's accurate. I mean, it knows what's happening in your body. So it's really exciting.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Larissa. We love hearing all of these stories about how it's helping people with things that are happening. I mean, you had something happen to you that you were like, what do I do? And then it helped you to feel better instantly. That's so cool. Okay, so the next person to share is going to be Isabella. Can't wait to hear from you.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to share these couple of stories. I actually was introduced to this by Nicole.
And I just wanted to ask,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I just wanted to ask, is there any chance you can show up visually as well? Turn on your video? We want, just like we would want to see someone else when we're watching videos later. You don't have to, but I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, yeah, sure. Just give me a second to look somewhat normal. Okay. Okay, hi everyone. Yeah, so I was introduced to this by Nicole, and she had done some work on me before I actually got the scanner. And once I got the scanner, I use it on myself, and I actually use it on my boyfriend. And for my boyfriend, he actually had done a gastric sleeve surgery, and he was trying to get into a job, and he had to do a physical exam. And so he wasn't getting within the right time frames of the physical exam for the job. And he's been practicing for months now. So I told him, come over, I'll scan you completely and like send you like the exercise frequencies and everything. And so scanned him, sent him the frequencies all night. The next day he went to the track. He got all his tests within the time frame, and actually some of the tests were before the time frame he was supposed to get it on. And he had actually been waiting to hear from a job that he really wanted within our county that we live in here. He's trying to be a sheriff, so he was waiting to hear from that. That was the one place that he really wanted to get, and he didn't hear from them. And after he got all his tests within the time frame, he gets a phone call right after saying he got the job. So he was jumping and everything, and I was jumping on my end here because I wasn't with him, like, oh my God, it really works, like, like I told you. And he got super excited. It's also worked for me in many ways. I have some health issues, so like it's helped me with that. It's some stomach issues. It's also helped me in like sales production for work. I do sales. I sell health insurance, and so before I even got the scanner, Nicole had put a frequency for me for just like half an hour of abundance, and the next 2 days I like doubled my sales more than I have in the past weeks before, and even me leaving it on now, like throughout the days on continuous loop, I've gotten a bunch of opportunities coming my way as well. And it's just been an awesome experience, and it's really a blessing to have this in my hands.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I love congrats to your boyfriend.
Thank you.
And also to you, and the fact that the abundance frequency is now bringing this abundance into your life. That's an amazing testimonial. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so we are going to hear from Dr. Rick next.
Hello, all. So Dr. Rick out in Colorado, have quite a few testimonies, but I'll stick to a couple with my daughter. So she's 5 years old. She's going through some growing pains, and there was one night I picked her up from her daycare, and she came up to me super sad. And as we left, like we got in the car and she just started bawling and like uncontrollably crying. And I was trying to ask her what was wrong, and she ended up telling me her feet were hurting. And so I'm like reaching in the back in an awkward angle, trying to rub her feet the whole way home. And she's like, "It's not helping, it hurts." I was like, "Girl, I'm so sorry." It's like, if I just had the scanner with me, I could like start working on her in the car. And so we got home, carried her in. She's still bawling, crying. And while we're sitting on the couch, with right, just snuggling, started running some of the scans, and she started to calm down a little bit, and calmed down enough where I had forgotten something in the car. Went down to the car, came back, and she was completely passed out and asleep. And so went out and I just made a playlist for her to help, like looked up homeopathic remedies to help with growing pains and things of that nature, and put some of those homeopathics as well as just other general things to help with her bones and fascia and things to help her body heal overnight. And the next morning she woke up, not a single complaint about foot pain the next day, which was remarkable. So that's happened twice now, and each time she's woken up with the same result. So it's absolutely incredible to have a tool, especially as parents, in our tool belt where we can help our children and ease pains or help emotional states, and just a resource and a tool to help them heal and grow through all their stages.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. It is so cool. Like this, there's a whole new generation now that as in the last year that are going to start growing up with frequency energy at the touch of a button. I love it. I love how they're, especially for kids and animals and everybody, that you can't exactly figure it out. Now we can scan, optimize, we can start to support them with frequencies. That's awesome.
Super cool. And may I add one thing real quick?
Yeah.
So I'm a chiropractor, and so D.D. Palmer said chiropractic is founded on tone. So the tone of our being, the tone of our nervous system. There's different genres of chiropractic, one of them being tonal. There's a doc, his name is Dr. Marvin Talski. He said he defined tonal chiropractic as the expression of vibratory frequencies through matter and space, right? That is what we have in our hand. And so it's quantum chiropractic, if you will. So it ties in perfectly. The body's made to heal, and this is just an amazing asset and tool to watch the body and nudge it back to where it's supposed to be and watch it heal and grow.
Absolutely. That is so cool. I want to look that quote up again, because it really is like, in chiropractic, you guys have had this conversation for a long time, right? And now it's almost offensive to be able to touch a button and affect somebody, right?
Pretty cool.
So cool. So good. Awesome. And please keep those chiropractic testimonies coming. We love hearing from new doctors as well in our company. So we do, I'm going to check in with Dee. Did you want to share, Dee? Or Carolee has one, and then I've got one as well.
I'm okay. Let Carolee share.
Okay.
Okay, so that other gal I forget which one of you it was talking about the abundance frequency. And so I wasn't going to share this, but since she did, I thought I will just confirm what she said. I made an abundance and wealth frequency playlist with Sephi, and I think it was the beginning of April. I sent it to bank accounts, businesses, various things. And that was my biggest month in 2 of my companies that I'm in, double in one of them. So it works. It's
Wow.
awesome.
Wow. There
Yeah.
you go. Mic drop. Like,
Right?
hello. You broadcast it to your bank accounts.
My
It's-
bank accounts, I have cards for my businesses, 2 of my businesses. So I took pictures of them and I made them an object in my personal account. What else did I do? I can't remember. I had 5 or 6 different things that I put it in, and I especially noticed it in those 2, but I had income coming in from other places too that I normally don't. So it was definitely like just overall an abundance month for sure.
That's so cool. Come on. I love hearing that. And it's true. Test it out, y'all. Here's my version of that as well, because I love that you brought this up, Carolee. I have been doing a number of events featuring the AO scan. And every time I do an event, I take a picture of the booth, and then I have a playlist of success with those things for abundance and all these wonderful frequencies. And I'll play those over the booth. Here's what amazes me. I've had people from other booths dragging people walking around these events to our booth to experience the AO scan. And they start launching into sales, and I don't have to say anything. The word's getting out in every area, and might as well be us setting up a table, doing some basics from the device. I tend to imprint frequencies to items. And one of the last events it also did, it was the vendors on either side that loved it the most. There's business owners that are looking for new streams of income, and the AO scan is pretty magnetic for that, because it is a simple way to add that extra stream of income. And another aspect of booths and children, like running with the AO scan. At this last event, we had Joy's twins, who are 11 years old, were our assistants, and they were being paid hourly and on commission for having people do inner voice scans with us. And they did a great job of imprinting frequencies to items. I just want to encourage you all, like, kids get it probably faster than we do, and start having your children like get used to this, and then even don't hesitate to have them come to an event or to showcase this to others, because it can, and it is that easy that anybody can use it. So that's what I wanted to share. Any other testimonies before we wrap up here? I think we heard some amazing things. I was gonna just show a little preview. So you probably heard on the call, some great things are coming up. June 10th, I believe it is. If you have a silver coin, you are part of the Solex Legacy Club, and you want to attend online, we'll have this 2-hour special meeting. I know we're gonna get previews of things coming. And with that also comes early bird discounts. If you're not part of this Legacy Club, you're like, what is she talking about? Look in your back office. You can purchase a silver coin to be part of this Legacy Club. And it's just like a special club where you get some early information and all sorts of little perks, including at the actual event, end of August. We'll all be gathering in Salt Lake City. Actually, it's Lehigh, just south of Salt Lake, for a 2-day event. And we're starting to put some housing together for that. If you are like, hey, I'm going to be there, I've got a ticket, or I'm looking for a place to stay, I'm interested in shared housing so I can get to know more people on our team, please reach out to your upline or whoever helped you get started, because we want to connect you. We want to build this amazing tribe in person, because some of y'all, you know, we've had quality time in person and it was special. It was really special. And if you can't tell, there's amazing humans as we're like looking around the room here, like, gosh, I'd love to hear her story. And we need to do that. We just need to gather in person in Salt Lake City for that event. I'm going to give you a quickie little preview real quick about one thing before we jump off the call. I was going to screen share, if you don't mind, Steph. Here we go. So we're always looking at ways to support you in your business and sharing this. This call is part of it, because when we have video testimonies, then you can send them to people and they can be like, oh my gosh, my kid has that, my dog has that, whatever. This is that. We're gathering resources. We're helping to equip you in what we're doing. One of the ways we do that is with FitFu. It is a CRM, customer relationship like management tool. And it is an amazing tool. We're continually enhancing that so that you can have like a series of emails that go out to someone after they experience an AO scan. They've experienced a demo, then you want to follow up with them. But if you're like me, I don't want to follow up with them and try and remember, oh, it's been 7 days since their scan. Let's just do one thing one time and put them into a funnel, and then they get this email series. One of those things we're adding to this that will be ready for you if you are using FitFu or you're interested in using FitFu is like simply a game plan interview. So when someone comes into your organization, gets started with you, then we want to find out what they want to get out of this. So we can ask a whole bunch of questions. So far, I've put in more questions than you probably need to ask, but that's up to you to edit. You can always go back into that form, edit that, and take some of those out of the form. So this is just one more tool so that you can better serve every person that comes into your organization, every person that gets started with the AO scan. We don't want to just be like, watch the videos in the back office and then see you later. Like, we need to follow up and help them build their business as well. And knowing where they're at on that scale really helps us to gauge how much we need to engage with them. So if you are like, I don't even know what she's talking about, what on earth is this thing? I'm going to put this link in the chat, and this is going to show you, I would encourage you to just click on this link. It's going to tell you more about FitFu and learn why we're using that and how that works. So that's just some details on that. We're going to have more coming out about that in the future. But
and I go log in and I go sign up.
Yeah.
You can still see my screen, right?
That's the YouTube.
If I go to
oops.
and apply, what I've done is I've done a 20% discount.
Cool. And yeah, she does mention a discount there, and that no longer exists. That was in January, back when we were rolling it out. So sorry about that, but it's still, I think it's a steal at like $20 a month to keep all your people organized and keep me organized, so I don't forget people and they don't slip through the cracks. I'm really passionate about following up all the way through. 6 months from now, a year from now, you can set alerts for that. So thank you all for being here. Is there anything else you want to add, Steph?
No, I am just so grateful to hear all of your stories. Thank you for showing up tonight and telling us how this has been helping you. This helps to grow your teams, and we really hope that you utilize this for that purpose, because we know that it can be challenging. People are skeptical, and so the more they can hear from all of us of how this is helping, the easier it will be to get it into people's hands. So yes, thank you for showing up tonight. And are we doing a presentation call next week?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we have the AO Scan presentation next week. If you have people who are interested in learning more, if you have new team members who need to learn and just be educated how this presentation works, invite everybody to next week's call. Okay, we'll see you then.
Yeah. Sounds great. Have a wonderful week. See y'all later. Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks, C.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good to have y'all here.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Isabella.
You're welcome.